Welcome to Soul Talk. Angels and instigators, your choice for your success. Let's discuss. And I am Alena Chapman, your host, and also my co host is Melinda Engel. And I'm, of course, the angel, the spirit. I am a medicine woman, a spiritual medicine woman. And I am, of course, going to be the one to bring in some of the spiritual. And Melinda is going to bring in how all of us choose and a lot of us choose. And how can we bring that to a better place so that we can live a happier, more peaceful life, right? And listen, we all have these choices. So we have people that write in questions. Sometimes we're live and sometimes they write them in. And today we have a question we want to discuss, right?
We do.
All right. So what do we have?
Okay. My spiritual awakening has begun. My problem is that there is so much stuff out there and often they conflict with each other. I want peace and knowing. No more doubting my decisions because I am guided. But how can I start?
Well, what do you think?
um,
How would most people deal with that?
well, first of all, you have to be careful because people try to gatekeep everything these days. Um, Mine was kind of finding my own individual path. If you read up on anything you want to know and educate yourself, you can kind of decide which direction you want to go. There's no right or wrong way to magic.
Right. There is no right or wrong way. I mean, you don't want the karma in any kind of whatever you choose to
I'll
do.
take that risk.
You'll take that?
Yeah, I'll take that risk.
Of course she would. All right. So, all right. If you have two choices, and yes, there are so many things that demand your time. Quite frankly, I'm going through the same thing. I mean, I have so many different roads. I tend to be the master of a lot of things, even as a medicine woman, even in that field of being a medicine woman. And I have to, like, I make lotions, I make hair conditioners, that grow the hair. I make salves. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can get this in all the stores. Okay, that's fine, but that's its own project in its own way, right? That's a business in its own right. And then I've got another business over here. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my dogs are so cute. And I got a new little puppy and a cat, and they go on all these little adventures. Oh, children's books that bring in spirituality and journeying. And do you see what I mean? I
She's
get
full
you.
of ideas.
And I always have an idea. I always do. So, okay, so what do? I sit.
You got to prioritize your time.
I have to sit. Yeah, I have to sit. I have to be in total quiet and I meditate. Now, it's not just one meditation, it's kind of like one or two. Sometimes I can actually meld my ideas together in some weird way that works. But I wouldn't know that if I didn't sit and just get calm and and it's not like I'm demanding that of the universe because that doesn't work either. What I have to do is just sit and allow myself to find that peace, that vastness, and then it will come to me. Everything is within you, and it will come to me in how I can either structure this chaos into one way or I delete and do what's important. Do you see? But at the very least, I will organize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will not choose to do thinking anything that is going to cause me bad karma.
I'll save that for me.
Yeah, but it is hard when you have a lot of questions. It is. I mean, a lot of ideas.
And you don't really know where to start. It's kind of overwhelming.
You got another thing you could do. I don't know. Did you ever try this? One thing I love is spirit writing. You might find that so funny. When I first started, I'll tell a story if you guys are interested. I I was starting my business and I had this team that wanted me to only be local in this way. And yet I was also trying to do everything on social media. I thought we were narrowing our sights down
Right.
into just a very local, which is fine, but that's not where the money is, right? And also, I'm supposed to help millions, not
Just,
nine.
right. Right.
So that's the idea. And then and at that time I was in self improvement. And so anyway, I was getting really upset because everything was being like um, circumvented through them. And so universe provided. This is kind of cool. I was supposed to go down to Florida to this seminar. And I know I had the date right. I know I had the place right. It's very rare when I goof up both things. And I ended up going to this place which I have never found again. I've never found it again. Okay. In Florida. I swear to God, it's really weird. And I got there, and of course, there was no seminar. That was another month. Another month. Another month. This is so weird. And I am sitting here in this little town that has nothing. There's a couple of restaurants, okay, a coffee place, so I'm happy, and that's it, and the beach. And I had this big room. Yeah, it's like the universe said, you need a place to stop. You need a place to sit. And so I sat in that room, and because there's nothing to do, can't even watch a movie, and I sit, and I thought, I'm gonna spirit write. Nice. Now, spirit writing is a lot like what in therapy, what do they call it in like therapists call it? They call it something else. But spirit writing really is unconscious writing or something like that. Spirit writing is where you start to write, and at first you're in your conscious mind. So you're writing, oh, it's so nice and neat, and yeah. And then you just keep writing, and you keep writing, and you keep writing, and soon you go into a trance almost, where everything starts coming up. That's really cool. I even wrote, I got to the point, because I didn't know why I was so frustrated. I got to the point where I wrote, because I love Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. And I had just seen that movie. I wrote, off with their heads. And I didn't even remember writing that until later. So it just came out of me, right? And I obviously knew I had to fire them. And I had to get myself organized in a different way, because that was the crux of all my frustration, and I didn't want to own up to it. Do you see? Yeah. And the spirit writing, so you can try spirit writing. Maybe you'll find your own like mystical land that never appears again. And things that work for you. And things that might not work for everyone. No, they don't. And it really is funny, but I'll tell you, it is being by yourself. Would you agree with that? Absolutely. Yeah. There's no better way to find some clarity in something than to kind of sit with it. You gotta sit. Think about it. For a spade. And feel it too. You gotta feel it. Yeah. Yeah, you really do. But we all have lots of choices. Yeah. Very good. Do we have another one? Yes, we do. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me show you how to work my phone. Oh, hey. I can't work phones. Okay. So this comes from Isabella. Hi, Isabella. I don't even know how to begin, but I recently found out my partner has been cheating with someone in my family. I feel completely shattered and betrayed by both of them. Sure you do. How do I even begin to process something like this? Do I confront them, or should I focus on my healing first? I feel stuck in anger and heartbreak, and I don't know how to move forward. Oh, I feel for you. Girl, put him in a jar. Put him in a what? A jar. You put him in a jar? Yeah. What do you mean? A hex jar. A hex jar? You're going to hex him? I'm kidding. Kind of. No, she's not. Really worried. No, she is not. Well, I guess that's one. That's definitely an instigator thing. You can hex them up to wazoo. Yeah, you could do that. You know, if you have, it's an all too common scenario, unfortunately. It really is, isn't it? And it's really not black and white. No. I can't sit here and give good advice and say, oh, you should do this. I don't. Hex them to death. Yes. Now, there are some instances where I truly believe that's the way to go. But I don't know a lot of your situation. I know that
some people have reasons for the things that they do.
Yeah.
And not that that justifies it at
No,
all.
no.
But I know some people just do it to hurt people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think sometimes, as bad as it sounds, it's not always about that. Although some people do use that as a way to hurt people. But like I said, it's not black and white.
It's not. You know, and again, God, I'm going to be known as a meditative person, but meditation does do everything. But you do have to sit with this one a little bit. And number one, my heart. Oh my God, my heart cries for you because that is one of the most awful feeling betrayals in the whole wide world, and I get it. And it is very hard to get to the place that I'm going to ask you to get to. So first of all, I would venture anger, not particularly at them. Okay. So, I mean, vent it. If you have some dishes that you don't want, I'd say break them. You know, do get out the anger. Run, run. I don't even run, and I would run. Run.
I play tennis.
You do
I
play
got
tennis?
angry. I used to.
Oh, God, I would not want to be the other side.
But hitting something with a bat really helps.
Hitting something with a bat. Get the anger out of you. You really have to.
And your feelings are validated 100%.
And oh God, yes. Oh yes. But I always say, you know, you've got to get to a place where you can see really what's going on. And through the anger, you can't, because that's all hurt, betrayal, traitor, all that stuff is in you, and you've got to get it out. And when you're finally, and it might take a little bit, but you really then have to sit and think to yourself, okay, why did this happen? And that's a hard one.
It is.
Because that means it might be
You're
me,
right.
right? I might be the problem. And you know what? I'm not saying you are though. Don't jump on me.
Yeah.
But you will see that there's always a cause and effect. And the effect is always because of what was causing that reaction. Now, they might have just been terrible traitors who snuck behind your back and laughed. Then you have every right to address them in a way that shows that you do not approve. And not, but, and I would cut them from my life. But if there was, you know, the marriage was really rocky to begin with, or needs were not being met as far as affection or just paying attention
that's
to.
both sides.
That's both sides. Or there was something that, you know, just wasn't clicking. Then it's not an excuse, but it is a cause and effect. And so you have to look at it. Now, their choice really stinks, but you have to register that there was a problem. And then even with your sister too, or your friend. Was it a sister or a friend?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Why do you want to wait? It's you will act on it.
She just said someone
in her family. To wait gets all the fire so that you can see clearly and act appropriately. Once you understand why this was even what the cause was of this whole situation with the family member and your spouse, well, then you can still address them. They're not going to walk away into the rose garden happy, but you will address them in a way that has more clarity, more this can move forward, or you might make the decision, screw it, if I could say that. Right. I don't want any part of them, and I'm still don't think this is right, and I don't want to have any part of this. I will be nice, sort of, but I really don't even want them in my presence. And that's your choice. Yeah. It is your choice. I don't know if that's not really an instigator, not if you've done the inner work. The most important thing is that you take the time to heal inside for you, not for them.
But if you want to be an instigator, shoot her in the gas tank.
Oh, no!
I'm just kidding.
Don't listen to
Also,
yeah.
I mean, if my devil side right now is saying burn everything to the ground.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but you know what? I've seen people do it. But fire with fire,
I know,
just creates more fire.
It does, and it I mean, does it help? No. Does it make you feel better?
Then they think you're just crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's very important, you know, sitting with it and whatnot, so you can like, you know, it's not like making a rash decision
Yes.
and saying things you might not mean, which is easy to do when you're angry and you're mad.
Well, you probably do mean it, but you're doing it with such force. There's no coming back.
Yeah.
If you want to come back, ever.
But I mean, you know, from the evil side, just burn them both.
Yeah. I think it's hard, especially since it's family, because you're going to see them at every family thing.
If you choose to. Yeah. And you could cut your family off too.
And that's not fun.
No.
I think you have to sit with it. Actually, they should be banned from the family, but whatever. That's my own personal opinion because that's not nice, no matter how bad it is to do it with a family member. Right. And that's going to be hard. But, you know, and you might decide when you're sitting with yourself that you have to just step back from the family for a little while. And that's okay.
Sorry, Isabella.
I know.
I hope you get it worked out.
You will.
And if you don't, just burn.
It is meant for growth. Everything, no matter how bad the situation, is meant for our growth. So you've got to look at that too. How am I supposed to grow in this weird, awful situation? Right? Sure. And the lessons you'll learn will bring you into a better place. And the higher lessons, not I want to burn them to the ground.
If you need help, just call me.
Yeah, no. Too much liability there.
Okay, so our next one comes from Lila.
Hi, Lila.
So she says, I've been feeling really confused about my relationship lately. My partner avoids deeper conversations, and I'm starting to feel like we're not on the same page about what we want for the future. How do I approach this in a way to get us to open up without pushing him away?
Okay, what does she mean by deeper conversations? Because everyone's different. What do you think?
Probably, since she's talking about the future, I would assume that she means probably getting married or having kids.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'll let you go first. How's that?
Okay. So the dark side of me, I would be like, hey, what's up? Why can't we talk about this? Why aren't you bringing it up? I'm very confrontational. So that is how I would handle it. But yes, for the good side, what would you do?
Okay, so I'm probably the person who would be the one that you say, well, why aren't you answering? You'd probably be coming to me saying, yeah, why aren't you do? And everybody deals with relationships differently. And when you're in with relationships with someone, it is, they are not you. They are not you, and they don't think like you. And women tend to want to plan the. I'm weird. I don't want to do that. But I don't want to plan ahead. And I don't like to put labels to things. So I'm like, it's usually the man that's coming to me saying. And so I get it. But all because he doesn't want to talk. I wouldn't put forth the marriage stuff or the even the going. Do we still go steady?
I mean, they don't really call it that anymore.
What do they call it?
Dating.
Okay, dating.
I don't know. Being together.
We just got bleeped. All right, so well, whatever. You're getting serious. Do they say that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. God, I'm so old sometimes. Serious. If you're getting serious, and I don't know, I always like to sit down, especially since I'm the way I am, and I have this thing where I say, you know what? I really like you. I really love you, but I want to just see. I want this to evolve. I don't want to put any labels to anything right away, or even 6 months in. I'm in a 6 months relationship, and we're kind of planning a little bit. We know we want to be more together. That's what we know. So we're going to start creating that because we want to do that. Do you see? And we're just letting this evolve. And and you say, well, where's the marriage? Well, if it's the right relationship and that person really loves you and isn't just looking for a marriage for transactional things like you support me and I'll help you kind of thing, but a real love, then it will just keep evolving beautifully and problems will be solved and you'll find that he, the man, will start saying, well, I think we should live together, or I think we should, well, we're talking about a union, not a marriage, a union, or well, I think this or that. And it's just natural. And you find that you actually start to, because there's no pushing. We're not pushing each other to commit to anything. Then we find that um, everybody's more open and and free to communicate. And you find out what's really going on with them, and they find out what's really going on with you. And it becomes different. There's no real goal. It's more like just treating each other with incredible kindness. Yeah. And having a lot of fun. And but it does end up more serious if it's meant to.
And there's, it does feel, you finally meet someone that you love and you're just so excited to be with them and you
gotta
just
make
want
sure
your
they
life
love
to
you too.
start.
Yeah.
But you can't really,
Why?
you can't be in a rush for it.
Your life is already there. What are you starting?
I know. Um,
That
it's
I
the
understand what
rush
you
of
mean.
it and we have to do this. Your value of your relationship and yourself doesn't come from whether you guys are married or not.
You have
Or
to,
if you have children.
you have to feel secure in your own self first, or you have nothing to bring to the table.
But it is important to talk to your partner about
Yeah.
what things they would like in their future. So if you want to get married, it's okay for you to say, "Hey, long term, is marriage something that you're looking for?"
We did
And if
that
they
too.
say
Yes.
no, then
Yes.
that's not the person that you should be with.
And that's but that's before all the love comes in. That's in the beginning stages. Like I said right up front, I'm really not interested in the marriage thing. I'd love if you lived next door though.
Right.
And so right, but we're progressing past that. That's Charlotte, by the way. And I really, in the very beginning, and really, you do have to find out things in the very beginning because you don't want to find out where you're all in love and everything's wonderful. And then you find out that that person doesn't want to have kids at all.
I know. And then you're like,
oh no. And that's what happened to one of my sons. And so, and it just blew him sky high. He just assumed.
And that's hard.
That is hard. So, all that kind of stuff. Are you going to want kids? Are you going to want dogs? Are you going to want
Right.
that kind of thing. Are you a person who wants to get married? Those are legit questions to ask in the very beginning, like on the second or third date, really the beginning. And if they say absolutely not, then for heaven's sakes, don't keep dating them.
Yeah. Maybe be friends.
You're not going to change them.
Right.
They're not going to fall magically in love with you and all of a sudden change everything that they want to get married and have a beautiful little home and kids running around. They don't want it. You got to take them for their word and either move forward with that, knowing that, or find somebody else who does. Yeah. But it really takes being secure for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
I know a lot of women who, usually women, but there are some men too, are they're just mostly women in love with the marriage.
Yeah, the idea of it, and I think that's where they feel like a lot of their worth comes from.
But it
Being a
doesn't.
mother and a wife. And if someone had told me sooner that that's not everything that women are, I probably, would have waited a little.
They were raised that way.
Right.
That's hard. When, being a mother and a wife is a wonderful thing. But what do you bring to the table as far as Okay, I waited to get married, and I did it on purpose. Number one, I never thought I'd get married, but I did, and and then I wanted kids, which was a shock to me.
Well, yeah,
And
people change.
yeah, and I had three beautiful kids who I had to work very hard to have because I am not one who has babies easily. And so I don't know. I was always happy that I was a little bit older than all the parents at school because I felt fulfilled as my own person, and I love education, right? So when I was with my kids, I didn't feel the pressure that I was giving up anything or any
Because
part
it
of
was
myself.
when you wanted, right?
Because it's when I wanted, and I felt good in myself. And so my kids, I had so much fun with them, and I brought science into everything because I have a fascination for science, right? So we went on all these excursions and collected water, and we just did incredible things. And I wasn't the most orthodox parent, but I had a really good time with my kids. And I think, and so that's my question. You know, when you're a mom, it's great to be a mom really early if you want that. But I think you got to feel good in yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are when you get married. It's what who you are and your talents and your what brings you real joy because that's what you're going to bring.
It's your
into your
identity.
children.
Yeah, you got to
And
kind of
you're
know
good
who
with
you
that.
are.
Yeah, and you did. You did.
I should have waited. I'll say that. I should have waited.
Well, now,
I love my kids though. I'd never take it back.
but now I see you with your kids, and you have a very close relationship.
Yeah.
And you do.
Well, we grew up together. At least my older two. We kind of, like I said, we grew up together.
Yeah.
So, me and my daughter and my son are very close, and they tell me everything, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, you're open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my youngest is too. She's my little baby though, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of clinging to
Protected.
that one.
Yeah. She's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important. Well, we got all to marriage and having babies, and one's question, and all she wanted to know is how to get them to talk.
Well, it's good that she hears it from both perspectives.
I think
I
it's
was
very
the young one.
Yeah.
You were the older one. I was the younger one. No offense.
I was.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
But when I was in class with my kids, their moms and dads were older, and I always felt the opposite. I felt very left out. Yeah.
I was too, though. I think we were both out of the circle of what they called normal, and so we were kind of out. Yeah. But I was the one who would act wacky. Like I always wanted Halloween to come in and read stories because you have to choose. And then all the other mothers were so nice and prim. I came in full witch gear with all green and orange cookies and stuff,
awesome.
because I didn't care, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the mom. You're the mom I wanted to be.
No, I just didn't care.
Because I loved the crafts and stuff. I was just too bored.
And I also wouldn't volunteer unless it was with my kids. So you want me to do all the lunches for the teachers? No. But I'll sit there in the hallway and read with all the kids, have them read to me and record and help them reading. I'll do that. I thought, I'm here for my kids. I'm not here for you.
Yeah.
So that's
period.
The older mom. The older mom. Yeah. So anyway, but really find out before, because there's a wonderful life, and you just very early stages find out where you both are, and then let go.
Yeah.
If you're kind of in line, like the person I said I really don't want to get married, they said neither do I, because we're both in that stage of our life. Yeah, it hasn't really brought us what we really wanted anyway, right? So we let go of that and all that criteria. And then we just, because we both did that, and we both like animals, we both love grandkids, we both love, and I'm not there yet, but if they come, great. But I think we're on the same playing field, and you got to figure that in the beginning. If he's not on the same playing field, and right now you want to get him to open up, just ask him a simple question. We went a long circle to get here, hon, and I'm sorry. Just ask him. Say, hey, how do you see your future? Ooh, no threat there, right?
Right.
He's just going to explain how he sees his future. And you can read a ton on what he says. Everything. Are you in there? Is anybody in there? in his world? And you can tell where his mind is at. And if he says, "Yeah, I do want kids." Okay, if you want kids, it's already answered. But let him figure it out, right? And yeah, and that's a very non-confrontational question. And maybe you can have like when you're having a good time and you're having a conversing already, and then ask the question. So it's very non-threatening. Yeah?
Yeah.
You agree?
Absolutely.
Cool. Good. So we answered 3 beautiful questions. And yeah, this is going to be our podcast, guys. So yeah, we get into cool discussions. We get into hexing people.
The good and the bad. If you want the good and the bad advice, you come here.
But why did we start this show? Basically, because most of us most of us do want to hex the person who gets us angry, but I don't come from that, and so I bring that
She
wonderful
wants to live in the
angel.
light. The angel.
Well, I am a spiritual medicine woman. I
Yeah,
don't exactly
sure.
go around hexing everybody.
She does. We've had
So-
to teach her.
but I love Melinda because she's a friend, and she is what a lot of people would do in a lot of ways, and that's important to see. So yeah,
I'm going to be real about it.
yeah. So, and I'm going to try to show a better way. And you may choose to stay the other way. Hey, that's the choice. That's what makes life so freaking interesting, right? So anyway, but we wanted to have some options and have some fun, and hopefully you're getting some laughs, and it's all
And you
good.
can write in. There is a link tree in our bio, and you can send in your questions or comments or whatever you have.
We love your questions. We really do. It's fun. And
It is fun too.
It also is a reality check for me. So send them in. Give me some reality.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see you next time. We're going to be recording this. We're going to start doing it live. If you like this, my gosh, please like it. Please subscribe so that we really get this going. And on the podcast form, you're only hearing this, but still, hey, put it in your like category and listen up. We'll be doing this 2 times a week, and send in your questions so we have the material to bring it back to you in wonderful solutions. All right. We love you. Every day you're faced with the angel and the
instigator.
The instigator. And every day you have choices. Which way do you want to go? Maybe a little of both, maybe just one way. Just don't get too top heavy in the hex part.
That's true.
Love you all. Hey, namaste. Know that you are always guided. Know that you are always loved. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.